Hey everyone, I'm so excited about today's video. First off, I want to give a huge thank you to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. You guys have been so amazing. I'm absolutely humbled by all of the beautiful comments and feedback from my last couple of videos. I can't even tell you how much it means to me. I'm all choked up just talking about it. All right, now that we've gotten the gratitude out of the way, let's dive into today's video. This one's extra special. We're going to be giving a You Create Barbie Basics doll from kit number 2 a major makeover. I've rooted straight nylon hair into her, and I can't wait to show you how I did it and the gorgeous results. Whether you're a fan of customizing dolls or just love Barbie, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. Let's get started. We've given this doll a last chance to try on a few of the wigs before we root her with hair permanently. I think this is so much fun, and with some encouragement from the comments, I did go ahead and order a second set. So you can see here where I've drawn pale lines on her head. I've drawn in the side part that I plan that I'll end up painting over when I paint the head. This is a good look at the before. The others were still shots. And we'll get a little video of her and the outfit that she had on. I ended up changing her outfit a little. She just looked so cute afterward. And then we'll get right in. We'll cut over to the table where I have the hair out, and we'll start rooting hair into her head immediately. Let's go. The first step is to remove the head and maybe clear some room on my desk. Removing the head doesn't require heating up the kettle for this doll. I'm just going to hold it close so I can give it a good strong yank and pull the head off. It's off. I should heat it up a little. I've heard some people talking about adding stress to the joint. I think they're right. And then it would make it easier for me to pull it off on camera as well. So maybe I'll bring a blow dryer over or something. Just get a good look. I'm not sure if I maybe wanted to do it all blonde, if I wanted the brown streaks, but we're gonna go for it. I remembered to paint the head before I got started. Spoiler alert, in the next video I don't. I start rooting the hair in and then I paint it. It didn't go well, painted it again. You know, there's a little bit more excitement in the next video in this series. But for this one, I've used this hair color before, and I remembered that this paint looked really nice for the chestnut blonde when I did the scientist doll. I'm not sure if you saw that. That video didn't do quite as well. It's when I got the first 5 Barbie Basics dolls. I unboxed those and share them. But then I also had a scientist Barbie doll that I wanted to give a makeover. I thought she was kind of embarrassing, and I felt like our STEM girls deserved better representation. But yeah, so I'm just going to carefully paint the head and try to steer clear of the line that I drew for the hairline. You don't want the paint right up to the hairline, or you'll see it through the hair and around the edges, and that's not a good look. But on this project, it goes really well. This is a good color match for the hair. This is chestnut blonde and then chocolate brown from Doll Planet. It's left over from the scientist. This is pretty much the reverse hairdo. And this was hair that I'd bought to do a Claudine makeover for my Monster High dolls. I need to get back to my Buried Secrets makeovers. And then I'd planned to make some BJD dolls this last weekend, but it was so windy. And I need to use my Mr. Super Clear to seal at the start, to spray it as the start and in between layers. So that nixed my plan of making me BJD dolls. And speaking of BJD dolls, I don't know if there's any crossover between the Barbie fans and BJD dolls, but I have these cute little BJD bunnies that I sell in my shop. I paint them and everything. I know I even have a video where I painted them on my channel here. I wasn't liking the hairline had become rubbed off slightly, which is what I want. I don't want a really dark, solid line here. I want it faint, and I want it to just rub away or wash off with the first dip in boiling water. That's my goal. But anyways, the little BJD bunnies. So I was thinking I wanted to definitely do a thank you for the subscribers on my channel. I've reached 800 subscribers. At the rate I'm going, Not trying to be boastful, but I wouldn't be surprised if I might have 900 subscribers. So anyways, a certain subscriber number, thank you for everyone subscribing, and to do a giveaway. So I thought it might be fun. I'll do a video where I make the little bunny that I give away. Or I thought I could just give, just like give away something from my new inbox collection. I got duplicates of a couple of the Barbie Basics, the ones that come with rooted hair. I wanted an extra one for my scientist project. I needed a body donor for that. And in order to get free shipping from Target, I needed to get 2. Oh, wow. So I got a second one of, I forgot which number it is. The one on the curvy body with the high pony, kind of Latina looking. She's so cute. So I thought instead maybe that would be a better idea for a giveaway. So give me some feedback. Maybe I'll do a post over on YouTube, but let me know what you think would be a nice gift. That one, it's the cost of the doll I'm not worried about. It's more the shipping on the Barbie doll. I'm like, oh man, the shipping on that's going to eat me alive. Because I'm not Amazon and I don't get wholesale rates. So I was a little bit worried about that. And then with the BJD bunnies, they're small. I've shipped a lot of them, so I know it won't be more than $12 to ship it anywhere inside the US. And so that kind of, and then my daughter had suggested that having something handmade by me might be nice. And she really liked the BJD bunny idea. So anyways, so let me know what you think, because I don't mind, the shipping, it'll be whatever it'll be. And oh, well, who cares? I'm thankful and grateful for my subscribers. So yeah, would it be better to do the maybe less personal and higher shipping cost Barbie Basics doll, or the maybe cheaper shipping, more personal, but time invested? Maybe spending less on shipping, but spending more time creating the little doll. And doing the video I thought might be fun. Make it, again, more of a personal kind of a gift, because you get to see me create the little doll that you get, or whatever, the little BJD bunny. So yeah, definitely let me know. You can see in the video, I have not waited for my voiceover. I just went in, whole ham, with my maybe undeserved or unearned confidence from the success of my first project. Beginner's luck or not, we'll find out, because I'm giving this one a try. The dolls that I decided to start with were the ones that, at least in my collection, weren't wearing the wigs, as well as other dolls in the collection. So the deeper I go into this, frankly, after the first 2 dolls, it becomes more and more difficult. I've done 3 of the dolls. Some of them are looking pretty good in their wigs. So then it makes me a little bit nervous, like, will this be an improvement? That's my goal. Not to just have rooted hair, but for it to be an improvement over how they looked in the wig. And so, yeah, that's a goal. So I started on the back of the head with my A to C method. I started in one spot, put another couple more plugs where I'd like to end up, and then just worked the section in between the 2 plugs that I had. And I pretty much do this almost exactly the same order that I did the textured hair. I'm just putting the plugs closer together. And then when I do the rows are closer together, and the holes with each plug of hair are closer than when I was using the textured hair. I've gotten so much great engagement in the comments. I'm really thankful for that. So people had asked, was it really difficult? I think it does take a slight amount of more pressure. I think some of the dolls maybe have slightly thicker vinyl than others. So like this one seemed like maybe she took slightly more pressure than the other doll. And then while it I didn't break multiple needles trying to do it. It is harder on the needles. So normally my needle would last at least like 5-6 dolls. Like I would just forget when was the last time I had changed my needle when I'm using existing holes. Without the existing holes, I was breaking more needles. So it took like about 1 needle per doll on average. So yeah, so that it does take more pressure. It does have more wear and tear on the needles. And then, as I mentioned in the first video, using the straight hair is a increased challenge, like increased difficulty level. Again, I'm just trying to darken up my line here, keep on track. I need each hole to be lined up right next to the hole so that it's not all jaggedy. We don't want her to have this jagged teeth looking hairline. We want it to be nice, smooth line. With the straight hair, it will be obvious if they are not butted up next to each other. So I'm just going back over. My goal of having it just wipe away easily is working famously. And it doesn't bother me at all that I just am reinforcing the lines slightly because I did want to keep them so light. The straight hair also is a little bit more of a challenge when you're rooting it. At least the hair that I have here, it doesn't section itself out into locks of hair the way the textured hair does. Like either the crimped hair, any of the curly hair just separates itself into perfect locks, and you spend no time at all separating the hair into locks for plugs, whichever you prefer, right, to plug into the head. So I spend a lot of time separating the hair, and then I'm not confident that I'm getting the plugs the right size every time. I cautioned before that if you have too much hair, you're going to put more stress on the needle, be more likely to break the needle. Then maybe the doll looks not as good as you had hoped. When they have too much hair, it doesn't look bad, but it does make it more challenging to style or do things with the hair because there's just so much of it. It can even weight the head so that they look up at the ceiling if you went way too far with the hair. And with the straight hair, of course, you're using more of it. And how I kind of know how I'm doing, am I using too much? Am I using too little? Is my consumption of my hair. The two places I buy hair from are Shimmer Locks and Doll Planet. In the video, you can see I'm working my way down the front hairline, and I just wanted to show you that I line up that first plug that I did in front of the ear with the corner of the doll's eyes. That seems to be like where my hairline ended on the side of my ears. So I just kind of felt for where my hairline ended, and that's where I choose to use that starter plug. And again, just do a plug where I'd like to end up, and then work from where I left off to where I'd like to end up. Right, so I was talking about how I know whether I'm using too much or too little. In the video, you can see that I finished the hairline all the way around. And as I like to do, I'm going to start with a couple rows up the back of the center of the head. Anyway, so consumption. When it comes to consumption, when you order from either the Doll Planet or Shimmer Locks, both of them will tell you, they'll have a little chart in the description that will tell you how much hair they think you need for which size head that you're using. And this is my consumption guide as to how I'm tracking on my project. I know that doing the hairline all around the outside edge and the part line take up the bulk of the hair. That's like half of the hair, probably, maybe more. I need to track that better. I don't do the part line until the end. Nevertheless, the project is looking famous, or is coming out great, and I am really excited with how it looks. So when I'm all done, if I had a lot of hair left over, I would know that either I didn't have enough hair in each of my plugs, or maybe I just would need more plugs. Even with pre-existing holes, I would just go in and add plugs in areas where it just looked too sparse for me, and I didn't think the hair looked good if I have too much hair left over, or a lot of hair left over. Now, I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means with the rooting, but I'd say maybe intermediate. I haven't been doing this over a year. Once I've done this for a few years, maybe then, maybe never feel like an expert. I don't know. I'm just self-taught watching videos, maybe like you're trying to do, watching my videos. Watched a bunch of videos to gain some false confidence, and in I went. And it's actually gone really well overall. Like I said, I've done a lot, and I wouldn't think that starting without any pre-existing holes would probably not be a great first project. I'd think that you'd want to start with the highest chance of success. So for that, I would suggest taking a doll that already had rooted hair, shaving her head, and then using the pre-existing holes or some of the pre-existing holes to root in some textured hair, either the crimped hair or any of the curly hair. I had originally thought that maybe curly and textured hair was like too advanced, and it just kept buying straight hair repeatedly. That's most of what well, until recently, that was most of my hair supply. And I need to get that out and show you guys like all the hair that I have. And then I just ordered more because I was looking at the dolls I had left and was thinking I wanted to do one doll. So in each skin tone, we're going to have a straight hair, textured hair, and curly hair. And so yes, with that in mind, looking at my collection, what colors I wanted, because I can kind of tell the wigs are great, if for nothing else, as I said in the first video, to help you give ideas for what hair color you prefer on each doll. You have a bunch of, if you get all collections especially, you have a bunch of different hair colors that you can try on them, and then you know what hair maybe you want to buy and use. Maybe you want to root it exactly like your favorite wig style, but longer or shorter or whatever, you know. Maybe you really like that Hime one, but you wish it was just a bob altogether, or just straight long hair or bangs. I'm going to do one of these dolls with bangs for sure. I'll root them with bangs. I'm hit and miss with bangs. I don't know. I would say I maybe 50% of the time they come out exactly like I wanted, and the other half of the time they're good, but not great, maybe. In my mind, didn't quite, you know. Yeah, I can be picky. I don't know if it's obvious, because I do try to go with the flow as well and just, you know, suck it up, enjoy the things that did go well, not focus on anything that went wrong, and, you know, enjoy life. Hopefully find life to be more pleasant that way. So what I wanted to do here was I did want to get a start on the part line. I found that I really liked doing half of the part line kind of early on, during when I did the textured one with no rooting pattern, no pre-existing holes. So I went ahead and did the same thing this time for the brown, so I could see kind of, did I like it? Did I not? That kind of thing. It also helps me to gauge, how am I doing with my hair? Again, am I using too much, too little? This is aside from when you're doing the hairline, particularly right around the forehead to the ears. Boy, you need those holes lined up so straight. If you need magnifier glasses or whatever to help you, like, you know, I have all my filming lights on when I'm doing it to help me. I'm sitting at the same desk. I just turn the camera on periodically to bring you along. And then, you know, think, oh, I don't want it to get too boring. That's my fear, is that people will just click off because it's getting boring. So yeah, so I bring you along for maybe a minute or two. I'm probably chatting to somebody else in the room with me while I'm doing it. Definitely the TV is on and I'm listening to the TV, so that's been fun. But yeah, so I'm just doing the part line. I just drew the line on with the pencil and then just get the holes as close together as they can. If you knot the hair, I feel like that can put a little bit more stress on the needle if you have it over full. I mix and match knotting and not knotting the hair when I'm rooting it in. And to knot the hair, I just have it wrapped around my finger. I pick it up where it overlaps with the needle and plug it into the head. And then you don't have to do that. You can just loop it straight, pick it up, plug it in. But I just felt like maybe that made it more secure or better in some way. I like to use as little glue as possible. Just very little glue inside the head. I don't want it filled with glue. And ideally, when I have the glue in the head and I spread it all around and I squish the head to get the glue spread around inside, I like to poke it on the end of like one of my watercolor pencils there so I can stick it in a cup or, you know, have it sitting somewhere. Maybe use that to do the boil wash or whatever instead of the body. I like to see it with the hair on, so putting it on the pencil allows me to do that. And if I've done my job right, I don't get any glue on my pencil, or, you know, if my pencil isn't immersed in glue. Our project on screen is cruising right along. And again, one of the things I like about doing that part line early is doing one of the sides all the way up to the part line, flipping the part line over like this, And then when I'm ready, at the very last thing, do the other half of the part line in all of the same holes. Like, why I didn't do this sooner, I don't know. It gives me a great sense of satisfaction and that kind of half done feeling, even though she's got the side part we're less than half done. But yeah, I can see how I'm getting with the brown. I end up rooting a lot of extra brown into the part line. I wanted this extra thick brown in the front, this extra thick chunk of brown in the front of her hair. So I work hard to make sure that I get that. I think I maybe even added some extra plugs later. Again, when I'm all done and look at it, I kind of pull it apart. And if I'm seeing scalp in places I don't want, I just randomly add a few plugs. That's actually the same thing I do when I have holes already there. When I've shaved the head and I'm using pre-existing holes, same exact thing. I refill all the holes and then go back and give it a look-see and add more hair wherever it's needed. And then, I was so excited that in the comments, some of my favorite channels have commented on my channel. And that has been so fun. I would love to do some collaborations with some of the channels. Like Mini Stitches really felt like a kindred spirit in the comments. That was really exciting for me. And she's super talented. She can sew and stuff like that. And then I was thinking, I don't know, maybe Gypsy from Broken Dolly TV. She had mentioned that she didn't want to spend money on the hair, and here I am with like sacks and sacks and sacks of hair. So I'm like, damn, maybe I should send Gypsy some hair and, let her pick a head or whatever of the ones I have left that she wants to do, and then send her some hair, use the same hair myself. Both of us do the same doll, same hair, or I don't know. Anyways, maybe she's so cool. Like, that's the thing that got me so excited was these other channels I feel like are so much cooler than I am. I'm like, oh my gosh, like not only are they like more popular, but the people that have the channels, I'm like, oh my God, they're so cool. I'm such a nerd. Like, I'm so excited. The other thing I didn't mention, but you may have noticed, is that I use tape, some clear plastic tape over my finger to protect it from the digging of the needle. And the other thing is it does actually prevent a smoother surface that's easier to glide under the hair with the needle to pick it up, I think. So yeah, if you're watching and you have a channel, even if I didn't mention your name or whatever, if you have a doll channel and you'd like to do some sort of a collaboration, let me know. I think that would be so fun. Yeah, I would love that. I'm really excited about how I was kind of hoping that there'd be this community and that I'd have a bunch of doll friends to talk with and to chat about dolls and like to get their feedback. Don't you know that my family is sick of hearing about dolls, doll-related things? I'm quite sure they're very polite about it, but I know if I were them, I'd be sick of me. So yeah. On the video, I'm down to that last step of finishing the part line. I've filled in enough rows that I'm ready to do the part line, and I'm just going back into every hole that I originally used with at least one plug of hair. Again, I'm trying to gauge the size of these plugs. Maybe some of them aren't big enough, or for whatever reason, maybe I'm not getting enough payoff for the brown. I'll go back in as many times as I need to with more plugs until it looks filled, and I'm getting the level of streak that I want. I wanted that heavy, like 2000s look. I feel like that fit the vibe of the clothes and her makeup pretty well and everything. And when she's done, she looks so good. I had all my dolls together and I was trying to keep the ones that I've rooted like together. And I was like, wait, where's that third? I've done 3 now, actually. Like, where's that third one? Where's the third one? I was looking right at her and I forgot that I had done her. Like, it just looked so natural, I felt. I'm not trying to brag or anything. It's just great when you work really hard on a project and it comes out good and you're excited about the results. Like, that's such a great feeling. Don't you love that? Even though these dolls aren't rare or super expensive or anything, it's still kind of a lot of money. And there is a bit of fear that goes into these projects in my decisions. I've still only done a few dozen. You know, I haven't been doing this for years. And I wonder, am I being creative enough with my color choices or ideas? So I do try to push myself. And therein lies some of the fear and insecurity because I'm not doing what for me would feel like a safe choice of just one solid color. I'm just not sure I'd be happy with that. So although I was using a color blend, I think that chestnut might be a color blend. It is so beautiful, that chestnut blonde. Yeah, I have FORO, like fear of running out. I think I've used up too much of that chestnut blonde, and I wouldn't be surprised if I ordered more of it. Although I was focused on buying specific hair for specific projects, and I bought just enough to get free shipping, and no more. So I felt like I did good. I think it was one of my more frugal hauls from Doll Planet for sure. And then what I thought I would do, I'm pretty sure it's the doll called Stoyen. It's the one with the long face and kind of a longer nose and freckles. She's got green eyes. She's going to be my 4th doll, and she's getting straight hair. She might even get bangs. Maybe I'll plan her out to be the one with bangs. You could see on screen, I had put a small amount of glue inside the head and squeezed it around. Now I have boiling water from my kettle. And I think instead of pouring it over the head, mostly because I don't want to clean the kitchen to film in there, or the bathroom to film in there. So we're going to go for my desk. And that way I'm just going to dunk her head. I'm not sure I got as much flattening as I would have liked. I feel like maybe some of the plugs are still kind of sticking up a little. I might later go back and do a boil wash, pour it over the top of her head without the video, but I wanted to bring you along so that you could see, just how nice it goes, where it goes from being a little bit too poofy and kind of wiggy looking, really. And then once you hit it with the boiling or super hot water, then it just lays down, looks more like hair. I'm just trimming off some of the longest hairs. And that's it. That's all I'm really going to do with her hair. I like the way when I did the boil wash, that dark stripe went across her forehead. And that just decides the hairstyle for me. I had no plan for what I was going to do with the hairstyle when I started. I thought I'll figure that out later. And then sure enough, during the boil wash, I just loved the way that shock of hair looked over her head. I'm going to dip it one more time. Get a little bit more flat. It's getting too much volume in the back. I think I can still see some of the plugs poking up. So later off camera, I'll wash the water over the top of the head. Get those laid down a little better. But she's looking good. And when the hair is dry and she's got her clothes on, she's looking really good. She's actually looking so good that I'm thinking she needs a better outfit. Another fun thing about this project was that when I got to the end, I'd used exactly the amount of hair that I would use if I was using pre-existing holes. Another check, again, do I have too much, too little, is to grab her hair into a pony, wring the hair into a pony with your fingers and see how fat you have of a pony and just compare that to some of your dolls that came with rooted hair and the amount of pony that they have. Okay, so I think her hair is dry now. I waited till the next day for her hair to get dry. I don't always do that, but it really did help the finished look of her hair. And then gave her a different skirt. I swapped out the skirt that she had, put that to one side, gave her the other skirt. You can see the scientist doll and that other doll that I've rooted. The scientist doll to me fits in the collection because she's got the body from one of these Barbie Basics dolls. And then I also got some earrings from that extra head that I had from the scientist doll, stealing the body from my other Barbie Basics. And that's a wrap. I'm so happy with how her hair turned out. It's a huge improvement over the wigs, don't you think? I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I loved making it. I'd really love to know what you think. Do you like the rooted hair better than the wigs? If you were to pick a hair color, what would you choose for your doll? And what doll would you love to see next on this channel? As always, feel free to drop your suggestions, ideas, or just say hi in the comments below, as long as it's friendly and polite. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from me. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!